Hey everybody, today I'd like to show you a technique that I use all the time that really helps me in my practice of the major scale, the pentatonic scale, and even modal chord progressions. So basically what we're going to be using is a drone note, but rather than just one single note droning throughout, we're going to use it in a little bit more musical context. So it's one note on the bass over a drum beat. And to understand why this is so effective, we have to look at what makes up a chord. So a major chord is made up of a 1, a 3, and a 5. That is your major chord. A minor chord is made up of a 1, a flat third, and the 5. And what really gives your chord major or minor sound is that third, whether it's a major third or a flat third. But using this one note technique really opens up a lot of possibilities because we are removing not only the third but the fifth and just playing the root note. And that one root note can imply everything. It can imply major, it can imply minor, it can imply Dorian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Locrian, whatever you want it to. The more chords that you use in a chord progression, the more you are locked in to that particular scale, that particular key. But if you only have one note, you can really change it up and get lots of different sounds. So this is a great way to practice this. And one of the ways that I really like to use this is to just bounce back and forth between your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic. So in this backing track, it's just the one note, the A note, played on the bass over a little drum loop. If you use this technique to bounce back and forth between your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic, it's a great way to get your ear focused on some different possibilities. Let me show you that. So you see, it trains your ear to get a little bit of a different feel when you're using your major and your minor pentatonics. And that one note, it doesn't matter because it's just an A note repeating over and over again. So you can imply that it's major if you want by using your major pentatonic, or you can imply that it's a minor pentatonic by using your A minor pentatonic scale. And another great way that this is helpful is using it in chord progressions. Let's say we wanted this progression to sound Dorian. Well, we know that our bass note is playing the A, and so A Dorian is the second mode of G major. So we can play the 4 and the 5 of G major with that A bass note playing underneath, and it will bring out that Dorian sound. Let me show you. So you see, by playing the 4 and 5 of the parent scale, it really brought out that Dorian sound. So if you wanted to play like an A Lydian chord progression, well, Lydian is the 4th mode, and so A is the 4th of the key of E. So if we played that A bass note, and we played the 4 and 5 in the key of E, which is A and B, we would get a Lydian sounding progression like this. And we can also use this technique to practice our scales. So you could play your A major scale over this. And then you could play an A Dorian scale, which is just a G major scale. You know, you could play a Phrygian, a Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and they all would work because you're only using the one note. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see from that example, I used the A major scale, and then I went to a Phrygian feel, an A Phrygian, which comes from the parent scale of F major. And just by having that one note droning underneath, you have endless possibilities to try out different modes, different scales, and you can create some really interesting music. All right, everybody, thanks for joining the 440 Club, and I hope this tip helped, and I'll see you all in the next video.